protest in Halifax about brutality in Iran. You would hope people would feel and be safe doing this in Canada. At least that's how it should be.
We are together. This is the time.
I call on Canadian government to protect my fellow activists in Canada because I know that their life is in danger.
Making an appearance, Iranian activist Masih Alinejad, who now lives in the U.S. and lives under guard. In 2019, the FBI revealed a plot to assassinate her in the States. That same investigation had disturbing news for Iranian activists in Canada.
They told me that the same group were trying to kidnap, harass the Iranian Canadian activists.
The threats were specific, a plot to kidnap 3 people in Canada. CSIS has now confirmed that report and those threats. None of this surprises some Iranians in Canada who've been scared for a while.
You mentioned that you have this feeling that the Revolutionary Guard are kind of keeping an eye on you here.
Yes, exactly.
And you think it's through your devices?
I'm not sure. Maybe they are already here.
You think it's like a physical surveillance?
Yes, exactly.
Mariam Shapafour was once held in solitary confinement in Tehran's notorious Evin prison. Canada was supposed to be a refuge, only something strange is happening. Family back home are being interrogated and told exact details of Mariam's life here.
So the Revolutionary Guard told your sister that your apartment windows open onto a school? And is that accurate?
Yes.
How would they have known that?
I'm not sure.
So what else did they know about you?
For example, I have 3 cats. It's really scared me. Just because of that, I asked help from police or CSIS, but I haven't heard back from them.
We're having this conversation just outside the University of Toronto, where there's a laboratory of sorts.
We want to take your phones and your computers and see if there's any nefarious software on there keeping an eye.
Destination the Citizen Lab. Part of the work here is investigating digital espionage and attempts to surveil or harass human rights activists.
They have extensive technologies that enable them to drill right down into people's personal mobile phones, know where they are, with whom they're communicating, ranging all the way to hacking.
Ron Diebert and his team know these threats, alerted Saudi dissidents in Canada to spyware being implanted on their phones by that regime.
They're trying to hack the Gmail. All my social accounts are on.
Mariam's worries worry them too, so they need to see her phone. It's not an easy thing to talk about, and the wait to see if she's been hacked is stressful.
The phone has not been hacked.
In the end, they don't see spyware, but they do see nearly 35 attempts to change her Instagram password, some 18 efforts to trick her into changing her Gmail credentials.
But also it's common actually for people in your situation to have agents or people who are sympathetic to the government within Canada follow them around, maybe try to intimidate them or even physically assault them.
All these things just really scared me. Just cut my relationship with all my Iranian friends. It was huge for me. I totally isolate myself.
Still recovering from the trauma of jail and interrogations, she needs and misses those connections. There is community out there, Iranian Canadians who've been taking to Canada's streets to protest the regime's brutality, but that's getting risky too.
I know multiple people that have been getting multiple death threats.
These two say it feels like someone's trying to silence criticism of the regime, maybe lure them back to Iran or worse.
Do you feel like they were watching you if you did go to those protests?
Of course, I personally have witnessed multiple people trying to record people's faces. So I'm 100% sure that there are some people who are basically collecting information.
Does that sound familiar to you?
It sounds very familiar.
Look at the lengths they're going to feel safe enough to talk. No names, no faces, not even their real voices.
So what happened to you?
Like a month ago, I got a text. It says, "Warning, communicating with the elements of the enemy abroad through email, secure portals, and other practical means of communication is criminal. It's crucial for you to disconnect. This SMS is the last security warning."
So my phone rang. Sort of a Persian accent in English told me, "Hey, why are you posting so much about Iran on your social media?" He kept repeating that. I was terrified, and I dropped the call. A couple of days later, I received another no caller ID call. This time, the person knew my name.
How do you get your phone number?
That's a very good question.
Together, they decided they had to go to police.
The police officer that's in the reception, he was like, okay, but like we can't do anything.
I feel like the police, whether in Toronto or anywhere in Canada, they're late. They wait until someone dies and then they will do something.
Just like Mariam, a call for help from authorities goes unanswered, even when it's now acknowledged there are active plots in Canada to target Iranian activists. And while confidence in police slips, some feel they have to do the police work themselves.
People can send us information.
Adashir Zazaradeh collects tips on possible regime figures in Canada.
We are collecting information, investigating, documenting them, and probably we will publish some of the names and will provide the list to the government and demand some actions.
So you're doing their investigative work for them?
Exactly. Well, we have to take actions in our hand because we are scared and we care about Canada's peace and security.
He's the owner of a legal services firm. He spent 2 years in solitary confinement in Iran, only to come to Canada and get a visit at his Toronto office from an Iranian intelligence officer.
Intelligence service officer just called me, my office actually, from a public phone, Bell Pay phone, to get an appointment. He showed up in this place in the lobby and wanted to see me.
Something was familiar about how the man was behaving and what he was asking. Adashir stopped the meeting, called the FBI, who eventually confirmed the person was a known threat.
So the FBI was worried?
Yeah.
And they communicated with you?
Yeah.
Did the RCMP communicate at all?
No, the RCMP never responded to my messages. What's wrong with the government? Why they are not taking action?
Good question. Think again about Mariam sitting in the Citizen Lab learning how to protect herself online. Their help matters. To speak out in Iran is beyond brave. It shouldn't have to be in Canada.
So we reached out to CSIS, the Minister of Public Safety, and the RCMP for comment. The RCMP were the only ones who got back to us in time, saying they believe the problem is growing and that they have ongoing investigations into threats to Canadians from the Revolutionary Guards. But they couldn't say how widespread these threats are due to, quote, underreporting. That raises questions about just how prepared the system is to handle them. We'll have more on the story soon, as will the Fifth Estate next week.